though my eyes cannot see. God's might and majesty. Faith fills up this need, and my heart does believe. Oh, you guys went for the major.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did. We resolved it. Let's
right
go.
on the tonic. Let's
We
go.
were
We didn't even plan it.
We
Okay,
had
guys.
resolved it on high.
We're back. UTM 2024.
Yeah, let's not play with it. It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. But here's the dealio, folks.
If it ain't broke, it ain't.
We are going to actually try to structure stuff a little bit more.
That's the idea.
So first, we're going to do a life check-in.
No.
Yes. How's everybody doing?
This is a chance to start life all over.
Yes.
No, it's okay. Keep
It's
going.
okay?
Yeah.
It's all right?
Yeah.
I'm in school. Things are insane. I'm actually
Yay.
in my last semester of college.
No way.
Yahweh. And
Yahweh is Jesus.
That's right. So I have 2 more classes, comp exams, and then I graduate in May, which is
That's a lot all at once.
Yeah, really hectic. And I'm still working full time as a youth minister. I have 5 events to run, including retreats and lock-ins and normal programming and trying to eat, sleep, work out, and be healthy.
Awesome.
Oh, also the whole going to mass and Jesus thing.
That's
Nice. You've been trying to go to daily mass, right?
Yep. So I still make the goal of going to mass every single day,
Cool.
except for Saturdays,
Nice.
because for me that's weird with it's kind of Sunday but not really.
Yeah.
No, I
So-
get you.
That works.
Ryan, life update.
Life update. My name is still Ryan.
Whoa.
I'm still a male.
Whoa.
Let's rephrase that. You will always be a male.
Yeah, no, obviously.
That's not peer pressure.
Oh my gosh. I'm still working at Wegmans. I'm still left-handed. I still play the drums. I'm 5'3", 156. My BMI I think is 30. Yeah,
You're still doing youth ministry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing youth ministry at my parish still, with my youth minister. So I'm technically just a core member.
Hey, don't say technically. You guys are awesome. Core
Well, I mean,
members.
I am a core member, and I'm at Queen of Heaven, West Seneca Town. So we're a South Towns parish.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm rocking it.
Super cool.
Mikey, Mike, it's your life update.
Yeah, I guess it would be interesting to start with the mass part. You know, unfortunately, with my two jobs at the moment, I'm always working in the mornings. And so growing up and then for most of my life, I went to daily mass. And so I'm super jelly. But at least this past, I don't know, year abouts, it's been going to just the weekly Sunday mass, actually just going to the Saturday vigil mass for the most part. And then a actual Sunday mass when I can. So it's just been interesting to be on a different side of things because it's very different from my previous experience. Obviously, my upbringing, but then obviously being in seminary for a while, it's like you're just soaked in liturgy, including the liturgy of the hours. So this is I just came back from mass right before coming here to this podcast, and man, I just felt so full afterwards, like spiritually full. I was like, oh man, I just feel strong. I don't know. It felt really good.
Yeah.
It was cool. So I definitely miss the daily reception of the Eucharist. That's kind of a thing that
Yes, it is.
it's kind of cool to appreciate. I will say that's a blessing. So that's cool. Other than that, I'm training. Other than that, I got a piano. So I don't know if you saw some of the videos.
So all the covers that he does is on this new fancy piano, and I'm totally jealous. Because my piano's nice, but yours is wow.
Well, you guys know I came up with a classical background in piano.
Yep.
This one's very nice by classical standards.
Yes.
Very, very nice.
What do you want to talk about? Do you want to say stuff about it?
Like your piano?
Yeah.
We got time, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, we can leave it there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
That
So
might
we're
come
all
up
just
again.
kind of doing our life, doing our thing.
Yep.
We're all still really busy, really hectic. Oh, fun fact, I leg pressed 810 pounds.
Cool.
I'm very proud of that.
I am
don't
proud
know
of
why,
you.
but I just think that's a great life update.
That's incredible. I would be very interested to see how many watts you can push on a bike. Probably 600.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I'm sorry.
How much you can crank out on a bike?
Yeah. It's usually measured. Anyway, whatever.
Okay.
It's like a towing of a truck.
Oh.
What? Okay, whatever.
Apparently, I'm a legend in the gym. The trainers are who is this chick? Because I'm not a gym bro. I don't go every day. And they're I just come in and just listen to EDM Jesus music and
Nice.
lift heavy.
Oh, man.
It's
Nice.
kind of great.
That's awesome.
I've been listening to an interesting genre, and it keeps me alive in a good way. It's just like, what would you call it? Like, maybe an EDM,
Well, you call it like a dubstep.
maybe a dubstep, but
Okay.
it's like really dark. But there's
Dark
no
step?
words. Dark step. Yeah.
It's there's different types of like EDM music and subcultures and stuff, and sometimes it can get a little sketchy. But there's like the classic house music that's just like dancing, whatever. But you've kind of got like there's something called chill step, which is like the chill version of it, which I'll do to do homework sometimes.
No, I got the very dark.
No,
but there's no words.
exactly.
Which I appreciate.
It's heavy undertones and darker playing.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, is it like lo-fi?
I started listening to it because of running.
that chill
It
step?
keeps you going, but then like it's just fun.
That's
Yeah.
what we were listening to on the way here, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Catholic lo-fi sometimes usually has voices like humming through it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's
Because
it's-
like
it's
you know
chill
those
stuff.
Scandinavian composers,
Yeah.
like they'll do that type of music. It's just really cool.
Yeah.
So we're definitely all just still living life, doing our thing. You're still coring. You're still a
Yeah.
core member for high school.
Yep. So I'll be helping out with that retreat too, or at least one of them.
Praise God. Oh my gosh. I'll be there too.
Nice.
That's one of the 5 events I have to do.
I can pray.
You can. Ryan's still praying.
I'm still praying for it all.
Let's go.
Yeah.
How's the house of all the boys?
JP and Joey are studying again, so they started on the 24th of January. They're going
Yeah,
to start
Wednesday.
a new semester with UB. So yeah.
Yep.
Solid.
That's good.
We also just survived a snowstorm.
Oh yeah. It was a low key. Low key was blizzarding.
Low
Low
key.
key.
Disney. Never
I
mind.
did
It's
not-
not the best series. Like honestly, if you were to think of
Loki's a
what
good
is
series.
a demonic representation that's PG, I would say that is it because
What is the series called?
Loki.
Loki?
Yeah, you know
Oh,
the
Loki.
yeah, because
Oh,
like
Okay.
in
the very last
yeah.
episode is like doesn't even have a resolved ending. The ending is complete chaos, and I don't know, it just throws everything off.
I getcha.
Anyway, that'd be a whole different conversation.
It is. So guys, we just did some songs.
Yes.
What are the 3 songs we just did? We're gonna talk about the music that we just did.
Who chose what song?
Let's go in
ahead.
order. So
Oh yeah, who chose what song?
I chose "He Is Exalted," the middle one.
Middle one.
Yep.
I chose "Beautiful Messiah,"
The last
Last
one.
the last one.
And I chose
I chose.
I chose
I
Who
chose.
You Say I Am, which is the first one. Why did you guys choose them?
Oh, you go first.
I go first because mine was number 1. I really just like theologically, whatever. I like being reminded that I am a child of God. I think oftentimes like we hear a lot of lies and we hear a lot of voices that tell us we're not, and that when we fail or do something wrong, like like God doesn't like us anymore, that we like have failed him and he's like, oh, I shun you. And it's like, no, I'm like literally a child of God and I'm welcome in his house no matter how messed up I am.
Christian Message 101.
Yeah, pretty much. It's very basic, but
It's the Christian.
sometimes I just need a reminder. Like,
The Christians for Dummies.
yeah, I just need a reminder and I like it. And also, like, logistically, we did it back when we did Fiat and we just haven't done it in a while. And I forgot that we were like good at it
Yeah.
and we had fun with it. And it's something that's just fun to do.
That's a super cool song. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe we haven't done that for this yet. So
We haven't. It's been in my head, just
Yeah.
back pocket
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a while. Because then second was you.
yeah, I was trying to. Okay. So He Is Exalted. I really wanted to go kind of a certain direction with this one because we were talking about like some of the themes we wanted to bring into this new year of Under That Mantle, UTM. And so I wanted to do something that was a little bit more liturgical, like something you would actually find in the Mass. And so this is like one of the first songs that came to mind. I think, at least where I learned it from originally, was in Steubenville from the Canticle Hymnal. So it's a little bit more contemporary. But it's also like I don't know, it's good to play on guitar. And then it's a great opening song. Mm-hmm. And so it's just it's simple because there's only a verse, there's only a chorus, and you repeat that a couple times. But like it's still so cool and you could just kind of praise to it. So just kind of wanted to bring that to the table as kind of like a liturgical opening type of Mass song. Yeah.
It's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It is classic.
All right, Ryan.
Yes.
Why did you pick
Well, my
Beautiful?
My song that I chose was more melodical. Like it had a very, you could play the music to it in a way that you could just change it up. I liked it because it was very percussion heavy. And I also just like the general message is that it's just very praise and worship heavy and just simple terms. Just like it's beautiful. Just think about the what's the word? I'm losing the word. It's just, you think of heaven.
Oh, so like after we die, going to heaven.
Yeah. Eschatological.
Eschatological.
Eschatological. It makes-
Eschatological. No.
No, I can't think of the word.
A 6-syllable word.
Wow. Basically, it means the study of the afterlife.
Yeah, it gives you the-
Eschatology.
End times
Eschatology.
afterlife.
Eschatology.
It's an eschatology song with a very groovy feel.
Yeah.
Eschatological.
There it is. We got there. Sorry, my brain is so fried.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
a fun song in that way where you think of the beauty of heaven. And then it's like very fun to play because it's really like, percussion heavy.
Yeah, we haven't done that one yet at all.
No.
And at least from my perspective of it, like towards the end of it, you may notice we get a little into it, which means like the spirit is moving.
We feel the song.
We feel it. That's what I really liked about it is like we can do our thing.
I kind of like that song because it, lots of Christian Protestant style songs go through the entire like Christian message, like Jesus was born, Jesus died, Jesus rose, and then like through that entire story. There's so many songs like that. This one does it, but like I really like this one. This one's cool.
Yeah.
And it's not like so in your face and obvious. It's like you enjoy the process of getting there because like it focuses on like Christ's love too. Yeah. And because the faith can turn into like justice or like this or like here are the aspects of the faith and you just forget what it's actually all about. So I think it's a cool song.
Oh yeah.
I like that it brings us back to the simplicity of when we meet Jesus face to face, how beautiful it's going to be.
Yeah. It's almost a scary thought. It'll be so
Oh my
cool.
gosh, it's terrifying to be like you're going to stand in front of like the most glorious thing ever who created everything and oh my gosh.
Yeah, and that almost that goes back to the responsibility. Like it's hard to go from there's the love aspect and that's what you really want to focus on, but like as ministers, like a lot of us are doing ministry. Yeah. It's like there's a certain amount of like responsibility that we carry because we know that day will come. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh boy.
Like whoever we minister to, they're gonna experience it no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, and either we can get them to like, yeah, this is Jesus, or we can get them to like, well, bye.
But I guess it's a great approach for ministry too, is like it takes the pressure off because it's not so much us having to force an encounter with Christ or something like that. It's just, no, he'll make that happen and we just provide the opportunity.
Exactly.
As simple as
Yeah,
that.
we provide the best way we can to provide graces.
Like I remember when we were preparing for conferences in Steubenville when I was a student, it's like that was the whole attitude for the conferences is like Jesus will show up, the Holy Spirit will work, and you just trust in that and you go for it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
You know what this really segues us into really well?
What was that?
Talking about our topic.
What's that?
Big events.
Oh.
The Holy Spirit showing up.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but before we do that, in the beginning of this, I talked about how we're going to actually have structures.
Yeah.
To doing our podcast. I think it's really fun that we go off on tangents and we kind of do our thing.
It is fun.
But the three of us have been doing ministry for a while in various different aspects. And I feel like we've all kind of talked about this. We have a lot to share. We have a lot to kind of talk about when it comes to our lives, but also like ministering and just stuff.
I feel like it's passing on the tradition, lowercase t.
Yeah, like we can like legitimately tangent heavy everything we want.
Yeah.
But we want to teach now.
Yeah, like it definitely at the point where it's like we want to teach you guys how to do this, how to like, whatever. So before we jump into our topic, we're going to talk about what this new structure looks like. And it's exciting because it's going to affect both the music side of our channel and the podcast side of our channel. So let's first talk about the podcast. For the podcast, we're going to actually have a topic we plan on talking about. So, anyone, you guys want to
so
jump
like
in?
Nicole is actually kind of has like not a roadmap, but like is actually an outline of here's kind of what we're talking about here. The songs we're going to choose. So we're actually getting a step up, a little more official.
Yeah,
because I'm organized.
And also you can look forward to really cool thumbnails because Nicole's in charge of that too now. So,
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. We're kind of delegating all these different things and kind of growing in new ways, so it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the plan for podcast is having a topic one, but we're always going to start with like just a check in on life. We're not going to lose the personalities of us.
Yeah, and then have segments too. So like we're going to try to incorporate a whole bunch of different themes and just kind of move from one to the other, just so that we don't get lost either.
Exactly.
Because we could go on forever.
Oh, we really could, and we'll get into what the specifics of the segments look like. But so we'll start with an intro and like what's going on with our life. We'll probably talk about the music a little bit, and then we'll go into like the first section of our topic. And today, we decided to talk about big events. So each of us have been part of big events in various fashions, actually together. A
Yeah,
whole bunch of
together
them,
too.
to be honest.
And honestly, I just get asked and I just participate. And,
Yeah, you've even done other ones without us.
well, true. Yeah, I don't have any good examples right now off the top of my head, but
You know, you did the pro-life thing. You not with us. You played outside for a mass thing.
oh yeah,
I remember
did it at
all
Our Lady of
things.
Pompey's. I did that at Our Lady
Yeah.
of Pompey's. That was a while ago. It didn't come to yeah.
Yeah, but you did. So we've
I
all
did.
done things. You literally were a student leader person for Franciscan. I've been doing big events for my entire being, I feel like. So, yeah, we're going to break apart big events. And what do I mean by big events? One of you jump in.
Michael knows, I think, more on that specifically. Honestly,
Why you threw it to me? Okay.
well, I really think you do.
All right. Well, I guess a couple of different things come to mind. What am I talking about?
Yukon, Buffalo,
Are we
Diocese.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Big events. The hope is that we'll be able to maybe brainstorm and start facilitating some larger events. But yeah, building off of our experience, obviously. My experience is rooted in very much Steubenville type of events. So that's kind of where a lot of the foundations for Fiat came from, which was a Eucharistic conference. And Fiat was obviously a monthly event where half of it was talks, and then the second half was like Eucharistic adoration, specifically with a procession and
Awesome.
music. Really beautiful stuff. And there was always a different topic and all of that. But at Franciscan, yeah, I was student head of liturgical music, and so there was that was cool. Like for just to give a reference, as the one helping to interview all the different candidates for music ministry
Okay.
in the first place.
Yeah.
So like in 1.5 weeks, interviewed 150 different students.
Oh, wow.
And putting the different groups together.
I have a question.
Yes.
Was it really hard to turn people away?
Yes.
Okay.
Because everyone sings, which is great.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean they're all ready.
How did you, like, what do you mean ready?
You have to have a certain confidence to at least be able to sing into the microphone. But then also at Franciscan, because there is so much talent, you're looking for more than people just singing melody. Like you're going to snatch someone that can sing harmony, for example. You're going to accept anyone that can play an instrument well and read music in a way that is like lead sheets, where it shows chords and the lyrics and lead melody line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like written out piano music, for instance.
Sure.
So there are lots of instrumentalists who would come from just a more classical background, and they just can't play without specific music, and that's really difficult. And then sometimes, out of practicality's sake, you'll turn down someone with like a clarinet, for instance, because the instrument itself is in a different key, like a B flat instrument. And while I'd be able to transpose that for people, some of the other music leaders might not be able to. And then I also facilitated a music retreat for the whole music program and all the music leaders. So
Nice.
that's kind of under my belt. And then playing for the big Sunday Mass, which was a 10 o'clock Sunday Mass, and then also the campus-wide liturgies, which were in the field house, so like 1,000 plus people. So that's kind of my background.
All right, I don't have any of that.
Wow. I totally would not have made it into Franciscan music.
I think you would now.
Now I would. But when
Yeah.
you first came to St. Greg's, nope. No
Nope.
way. You take him.
One of my favorite experiences there was I played for, it was the initial conference. It was the first time they actually put on a conference for the students at the beginning of the school year. And that was cool because they'd never done that before. And so I got to do music for that. But for the one practice, they actually brought a drone, and they flew the drone inside the building. And like all the papers and the music was flying all over. That was really cool. And it's like one of those bigger drones, not a smaller
Yeah,
one. So
yeah.
it was fun.
They messed with your music.
Yeah, but it was cool. And the subwoofers were under the stage. And so when the one cellist played her cello, your feet would vibrate. You would just feel the music. It was the coolest experience ever.
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
That's wow.
Wow, can we join now?
I mean, now we would make the cut. I mean, you would probably make the cut in the beginning because drummers, I feel like, are a rarity. But
Yeah.
I needed some growth.
I needed growth.
Yeah, right now, you would probably be able to do voice and piano, honestly. Like that.
Thanks. Only took me like
Couple
30 years to get there,
Yeah.
but we got there.
That's
Percussion-
not necessarily true.
Percussion would be interesting because when I got there, percussion wasn't. I think it was one of the years that it wasn't.
It was underrated.
allowed.
In other words, it was
Wasn't
underrated.
allowed.
Yeah, we just didn't do percussion.
That's literally not fair.
Yeah.
He feels discriminated.
No, I literally do.
I'm so sorry, Ryan.
It's actually discriminating.
Against drummers.
That basically means I can't participate.
Don't
in-
anticipate, participate.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so my big
That's fine, I get
event experience. Well, okay, so there's two sides to this. For me as a youth minister, I'm really used to planning big events. So I'm really used to behind the scenes, like logistics of it. The music side of it is actually something kind of new the last few years. But prior to me being involved in music ministry, I was a core member myself. And I always was involved in planning for retreats and conferences. I was part of doing stuff for convention for the diocese. And then as I got hired, St. Greg's is insane. And I constantly am asked to kind of help facilitate and plan and prepare big events. So the latest example is the Diocesan Youth Rally that's coming up. I'm part of the planning committee and potentially running the middle school part. So like, it's so I'm used to.
You mean middle school or youth? They're actually going to be in
Yeah,
there?
they're gonna actually bring eighth
Yay.
graders.
Cool. All right.
So I'm really used to planning bigger stuff, and there's definitely a lot of pieces. Ryan, do you have any? Because you're a core member, so you've done retreats and stuff like that.
So what I know is that I participated in retreats. I don't have a chance to run retreats anymore. We don't do that. It's like doesn't exist.
Okay.
Go for the retreats like at St. Greg's because.
Well, I mean, I've
we're all part of those
participated
too.
in Brave.
Yeah, but you've been part of music stuff.
I have.
So like you did Yukon music.
UConn music was fun. That was cool.
Just explain these things because people won't know.
Well,
Exactly.
okay. Simply put, large scale event, respectfully for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
We did a music team. I was on drums. We had guitar players. We had singers. We all were a part of that. We were a band, and we participated in that way. That one was fun because we made sure we had monitored earphones.
That was wild.
It worked. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are dropping a lot of names of things.
Well, we'll simplify it. Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about the names of things, and then we're going to segment, and then we'll come back.
Sounds good.
So just so you understand, like, the big words we're using. In ministry in the church, there's kind of different levels of events. Conferences are, like, thousands of people to, like, hundreds of people that are kind of in one big room, and there's speakers, and it's, like, one big thing, and sometimes there's breakout sessions, and it's big. It's very big. Rallies are a little bit smaller, but it's definitely a lot of high energy, and it's usually for teens and younger rallies. Yukon was short for Youth Convention.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it was short for Youth
Oh man, when I first got involved with youth ministry at St. Greg's, that threw me off. All the acronyms and the names. It was like AMPT, YA, Yukon. Oh, they're all crazy.
There's so many
Edge. Like, what do
acronyms.
these mean? They're just like short little words.
Yeah, the more you do ministry, the more you get used to all the acronyms. It's insane, the amount of it. Because, like, even employees at St. Greg's still don't know all the
What was
Yeah.
the one that never died?
That never
Blank.
died?
Never dies. What was that one? It was like everybody would meet and talk about random topics in the basement.
SWAT never
SWAT,
dies.
SWAT never dies.
Spiritual weapons and tactics.
Is that what that actually
Yes,
stands for?
that's what it stands for.
Spiritual weapons.
That's awesome.
I actually never knew that. I just knew it was called SWAT.
It's currently on ice. It may have gone to sleep permanently,
Well,
but we'll see.
that's what I heard. But for the longest time, SWAT never died.
SWAT never died.
Until it actually died.
Until it actually died.
Until it dies.
So you got rallies. Yukon was short for Youth Convention. Convention is basically like a conference. We did a pro-life rally at St. Greg's where same thing. It was high energy.
Yeah.
A lot of music type of stuff for us. Retreats are typically smaller. So retreats are usually extended time. So they'll be like 3 days in our world. for middle school, we do varied levels because they're younger, but typically retreats are about 3 days.
Intimately.
Yeah,
More
and
intimate.
it's about 20 to 30 people. I've been on retreats where we've hit about 50, but 20 to 30 is average. And you have people in charge of it and a music team and stuff. But that's usually away at like a camp or something like that. So every event is a little bit different in their flavor and the planning that goes into it. And it really does require a lot of planning and logistics and coordinating of people.
Yeah, it takes a certain mind to be able to plan that and to be able to kind of like look to the future and say like, oh, this is going to happen. So we'll need this much time and we'll need to do this kind of thing because people are going to be tired of sitting for so long or on their edge of the seat or really hungry, you know. You have to know how people,
Yeah, you got to get to know
how
people.
kids, I don't know how all that works.
Kids and adults. It doesn't, kids, you have to, like, kids are different than adults when you're planning big events. But humanity is the same.
It's an animal.
It is. What? A manatee.
A manatee.
A manatee.
I saw one in the wild in Florida. That was kind of interesting.
Aren't they like
tried.
dangerous?
They can be.
Dangerous? No. I just don't know why sharks don't eat them because they're so vulnerable, I would think. And they're big.
Well, you know, as long as they're living their best life, it's fine.
Yeah, I
They,
guess so.
well, they can be if they're
Such
aggressive. If they're
weird animals.
offended, let's
If
say.
they're offended, they get aggressive.
Anyway, humanity.
Humanity. I can't say it right. Humans. We all kind of act the same. Sitting still for us for a certain amount of time is really difficult. And so you have to actually plan to have breaks and things like that. It's important. But you're right. You have to know the age group you're serving and the needs that they have. Mm-hmm. Me planning a big event for middle school is so different to a young adult event. My middle school retreat is very different than the young adult retreat we do.
Lots of gaga ball.
Lots of running
Like-
around.
And yeah, exactly. It's running around all the time.
All the time.
So you need a very high metabolism.
Why do
And
you
I don't know how you do it without sugar or caffeine. That's kind of ridiculous.
Why do you think I work out, man?
Does that
Well,
apply? Like
It's how like
strength?
well, it's like keeping your body healthy and ready to go so that you're always like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Your
but the weird
muscles
thing-
warm.
Okay, so actually this goes into like what I wanted to mention with big events and stuff too. It's so easy for people who are leading it to kind of go under the radar too. So like the one that came to mind initially was like last summer was Diocesan World Youth Day.
Yes.
You know, those involved were like, you know, it's one of those things you plan for a very long time. And that particularly for instance, this happened at Our Lady of Victory. What month was it? August?
Summertime.
It was in the summer.
It was in the summer.
That's all I
July. I think it was July.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
And so Jake, for instance, he was on the planning team. And
So was I.
you were MC.
Oh no, I was actually on the planning team too.
Yeah.
I was both.
Master Chief.
Master Chief.
Yeah, and so yeah, I was hoping he'd be able to come and share about some of that, like what actually goes on behind the scenes, you know, like how do you pull things together, because that's a whole different animal. But like where I wanted to go with that is like to put on a successful event takes a lot of energy, and then if you do it well, or you know, then people just walk away and they don't know the difference. You know, hopefully they have a good experience coming out of it.
Yeah,
And
you
so-
don't want them to remember anything that went wrong. You want them to be like, that was good.
Yeah.
And then you know you've done it successfully.
Well, I mean, it can be a little bit funny, but we don't want them to remember that.
like, you don't want them to be like, remember that time? Like, no. you
Yeah,
don't
it's
want
really a ministry of service where you're especially selfless, because the whole goal is, you know, to serve those who come and
Yeah.
to provide the best possible experience.
I mean, big events, it really requires a lot of coordination with people. There's, you know, things like Franciscan that have a staff that their job is to do conferences, right? Even when you go to like Life Teen, they have a staff that's in charge of doing conferences, and like they're paid to run this stuff. For example, Diocesan World Youth Day, we all were pretty much volunteers. I mean, granted, youth ministers, it's your job to do this stuff. So like, yeah, but none of us worked for the diocese besides like 2 priests that just represented the diocese.
Sure.
So you're right. It is an act of service for the people and for the youth we were serving. And so it really just required coordinating of people and finding your own people to help you, if that makes sense. So, like for me, I was in charge of registration actually, and I was in charge of the sign-in tables on top of being the MC. And so I had to coordinate getting people to check everyone in. And so I had to get a bunch of volunteers to help with the check-in tables. And it seems really minute, but that's the first face you're going to see when you walk in. So I had to pick the right people that could handle a crowd of people, be welcoming. But even behind the scenes, I had to ask the diocese a lot of questions when it came to like how registration works with the platforms and the bracelets and all of that. And that's just with experience of doing events. And so everyone kind of had their own niche that they had to do, and it's delegating to people.
Yep.
A different angle on it is from a canon law standpoint, because I think in a lot of the events we've done, we kind of take it for granted, just calling it a Catholic event.
Yeah.
But that actually is kind of, just to go a little bit deeper on that, you can't just have any old Joe put on an event and call it Catholic. Or if you do, what you should realize is that you're at the mercy of, in a good way, of like the bishop. You're actually directly under the bishop.
Exactly, yeah.
Because the bishop has the power to kind of either, acknowledge or even revoke it. So, I mean,
Technically,
in one sense,
we're teaching under the bishop. The bishop gives the pastor, delegates the pastor, and the pastor delegates to his lay ministers who he allows to teach stuff.
yeah. So, for
Nice,
example,
nice.
I mean, I guess 2 examples. I just wonder how some Catholic colleges can continue to call themselves Catholic. So that's one thing. But then on the other
Ooh.
hand, it just means that when you put on an event and you want to call it Catholic, you really should try your best to make sure that either the themes are, what do you call them, orthodox?
Align with the teachings.
Yeah, exactly. That everything you're teaching is aligned with it. So,
Yeah.
and then, for example, like it's a great plus if you actually invite the bishop too.
Right? I mean, yeah.
Whoa.
Youth rally. But no, you're right. It's when I talk about people, you have to have the right people.
Yeah.
You really have to have people that know what they're doing in there. It's really important to have the right people. And that was World Youth Day. But even when we did the pro-life rally, the planning people for that was basically youth ministry at St. Greg's. Like, we know the teachings of our pro-life stance as Catholics.
yeah.
Like, we know that. And so, like, we know how to put on this event. And everyone that we had involved was part of this. Like, you get the people to help you. And the bishop did come, which was really powerful.
Yeah.
So we're going to take a pause.
He blessed my other guitar.
Wait, he did? Oh!
Which means I can't,
Get rid of it, ever.
I could burn it.
No, that's
Or
bury
bury
it.
it.
Don't, you could
I'll bury it.
bury it.
Dude, I would love that. You
Not yet. It still works.
Pause.
Okay.
You have to talk about segments.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is a break. I don't know if you want to.
Can I just say
break.
about the last part? I don't really have anything. That's all.
Well, you will in the next part that I bring
Yeah,
up.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Break. So, next part of our video, which we don't have right now because this is the first one back. But we're going to do segments, fun things that we as individuals can teach you guys. Each of us have our own gifts and talents when it comes to music and honestly just being. We're all different personalities, and we all do music and things a little bit differently. So we want to kind of teach you guys things.
Yes.
Ryan,
What can I teach you?
like what are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
What am I thinking
What
right
is-
now?
what is
could
up
be
here?
very.
Well,
Well, you don't want
Holy
that.
Spirit activate. For the segments, what are you thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yeah.
I want to be a participant inside of Steubenville's drumming.
Oh, man.
Mikey Mike.
Come
You're
on,
still feeling
that
that.
sounds rough.
That-
No, I just I don't know, liturgical music. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
the awesomeness of a choir in my head right now.
You could teach them like drumming skills.
I think that honestly, that's something that's really powerful.
Okay.
Bass notes. Let's put it this way: bass guitar players and drumming can be very vital and very good.
There it is. So Ryan's got some drum stuff. He also knows a lot about like saints and prayers. So who knows? One of his
So,
segments
yeah,
could
so
be
I-
that.
That'd be cool.
Like for example, my Saint Sebastian, I could say like athletes, but I don't know the music one off the top of my head. but like I could talk on that.
You could talk about your sick rosaries.
My sick rosaries.
Yeah, literally take like 30 seconds to talk about your really awesome
He'll
rosary.
be
Not
one
right
that
now.
actually gets us sponsors. He'll be like, get the man rosary from whatever the rosary site is, you know?
There you go. I have figured out your segments.
I'm not
Or
gonna.
the
I'm not
scapular
gonna
one,
say.
you know?
I can't say any names because we probably can't. But I have.
Hey, if you give him a plug, why not?
You can.
Well, I
We're
mean-
not sponsored. It's fine.
Oh, so but I mean that being. I thought that would be a problem.
No, we're not.
If you're recommending people to buy the product, I think you'll be fine.
Catholic gentleman rosaries. I have a Catholic
All
gentleman.
right, you have to save that for your segment.
Catholic gentleman
Okay.
rosaries.
Okay.
Hey, Mikey Mike, what do you think?
What I'd like to do specifically for, like, say, a teaching segment is, because I have a lot of experience with planning different types of music events or liturgies. And so, like, maybe each time say, like, okay, here's an example of preparing for this. How would I
Like a
approach
different
it? What would I
liturgy?
do? How would I choose music? How would I form the team?
Okay.
How would I practice?
So
Things
like a different
that.
liturgy or like a different like
Exactly.
like if it's like Corpus Christi, if it's like a procession you're doing for something.
Yeah, exactly. Or if it's going to be like an adoration night, or if it's going to be a big, even like Triduum Mass or something. I don't know.
Yeah, cool. And then for me, I definitely. So I'm not like classically trained in piano, and I know you've asked me before how I taught myself. So I think that'd be fun to teach, like how I taught myself and like how I read chord sheets and even like holding a melody when you sing with a bunch of dudes. That's actually a real thing I have to do all the time, or used to have to do.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
And
Yeah.
just various tidbits. I actually know a lot about choral stuff when it comes to singing.
Oh, you tell me about all about the vowels and how to
I
pronounce
do, and I know how to vowel and
structured
How to hold your
vowels.
mouth.
how to
and
hold your
all that.
mouth, how to raise your eyebrows, how to
Yeah.
sing out of your diaphragm. I've taught you how to do
How to
stuff.
mispronunciate on purpose sometimes to help.
How to open your mouth certain ways.
I'm
so
really
air-
interested, particularly in the piano part, because I'm thinking what you would be able to teach as far as here's how you play with praise and worship applies not only to pianists from your background, but also to even like people who are more from a classical background in sheet music also have the exact same hard time
Yeah.
breaking into
Yeah.
what's essentially improvisation.
Actually, I'm gonna tell you a funny story about this.
Go
So
ahead.
my old roommate, her name's Olivia, and she is a classically trained piano player. So she's like you. So she's all like can play it all, and I'm not. I'm a chord player, which means that I can read a sheet basically that guitar players read, and see that, for example, that's a C chord, and like you said, improv it and make it sound nice. She has no idea how to do that. I love her. She's awesome, but she doesn't know. And so it was very interesting because we'd play in the house and it would sound totally different between the two of us. We'd look at the same music and it would sound totally different.
Yeah.
It's just really cool how that works. And I don't know if I could ever do classical, ever. But there's definitely a place for my type of piano playing. You know, it's meant very specifically for like praise and worship and stuff
Sure.
like that.
Sure.
So that's our segment plan. Woo!
Yeah. This is a tangent. I'm going to throw it
Go
in there until you
tangent.
stop me. But like I just learned recently about different chords. You know how there's the 7 chord? Well, there's also a 9 chord, 11, 13, and 15. And I didn't know those existed.
That's-
I didn't even know those existed.
I started hearing
That's
those. And I'm like,
awesome.
whoa.
Thanks for that.
The
I needed to
musical
know
world
that.
is deeper than I thought. I just got so excited.
By the way, you can play like 11 drums at a time.
Let's go.
Like, you ever listen to Phil Collins?
Yes, I love him.
Dude, we love that drum solo
Let's
entrance
go.
to
Yeah,
In
but-
the Air Tonight, bro.
But he can't play anymore. He's got like arthritis and stuff.
Well, he's a left-handed drummer, so he's dope.
Dope. Okay, back to the topic.
What was our topic?
Big events.
Okay.
Big events. So we were talking about first, like the people when you do events are super important. Like who you have part of your planning and part of your like logistics of it. And you said making sure that it's like canonically and teaching correct.
I have an interesting question. What would you say our biggest event is that we've done?
The biggest we've done, well, I would say Fiat was our consistent one for a while. Brave Retreat is kind of
I think UConn was the biggest, only because you remember those practice sessions? Like a
Dude.
6-hour practice
my gosh.
session.
Okay, so we're
or
gonna
multiple ones.
launch into this conversation, okay? As a music ministry team, big events are ridiculous. And you have more experience than the two of us because you've done Franciscan stuff, but UConn was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. And there were like steps to this. Because
Yes.
I remember
We flew, so we had to fly We fly, whatever. Our speaker in, like we had like a legit speaker.
Yeah, we flew a speaker in and everything, but for like the music side, there was like stages to the music. The
Yeah.
first stage was like, I think it was you and I just sat down for like hours and tried to pick music.
Yeah, that was a whole
Right?
process too. Yeah. And then how do you continue the themes? And then how do you go about the repetition of songs and the introduction of new songs?
And
'Cause there's a balance
and
that
the,
needs
and
to
the
happen.
sound.
Because there were like 7 different music sessions
Yes.
over the course of 2 or 3 days. I
And
forgot.
different types of music sessions.
Yeah, like one of them was just wake up in the morning, everyone's going to be miserable, but you got to pep them up.
So how do we do foot stomping music when we're like 3 a.m. feeling
Well, yeah,
tired?
when we're all dying.
Yeah, when we literally go to bed at midnight and wake up at 5.
And
Yeah, we
that's
gotta-
contrasted with the adoration music, which is soft
And
and,
liturgical
beautiful.
and mass.
And then there was mass. And then there was also just like, here's our theme song type of, hey, let's get moving.
Yeah, so the event UConn, I really like UConn as an example of like a music ministry team. Like you said, there were many different types of worship sections, and it required for picking the music to kind of, like I jokingly say this, but to know the vibe of that session.
Yeah.
Was this just a simple 2-song praise and worship session, or was this the wake up and get everyone moving where we had like 6 songs where the lights were going off? He was on a drum kit. We had the full music team, because there was even different like levels of the music team.
Oh yeah.
You remember that too?
You talking about like skill levels?
No, like members, because we had teens join us.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then we
Oh,
had teens
and
not
they
join
joined
us.
us for certain parts and certain parts not.
And then adoration, we didn't even have the whole group.
And we cycled a couple people in and out that weren't able to attend the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yep. I remember bass players.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
So
But-
when we were picking music, we had to know what musicians were in which sessions as well.
Yeah.
There was a whole.
Do you remember that?
And every single session had at least 10 run throughs beforehand. You
Yes.
know, like even for myself, a lot of the songs were new. And
Mm-hmm.
so, like, for example, the first couple practices were just, me and Nicole, for instance. Let's learn the music and at least be able to sing it once through. And that
Yeah.
was hard.
Oh my
because
gosh.
This was like one of the styles was completely new. It's like
It was
Christian
intense.
radio type of music.
It was.
And I had never done that before.
Yeah. I remember like, okay, here's the stack, Nicole. I need you to, because I have this thing
It was a stack.
where I'm known for writing the orders, like the roadmap. I write the roadmaps of the songs, and I write like who's doing which parts.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so in this session we have this group of people. In this session we have so you and I sing through this, and as we're singing through this, we have to listen to who we think would fit into this section. Nicole, write it down.
And it helps to write it down too, because we also had someone back there running the slides, and they need to know where to go. Like what are you singing next, the verse or the refrain, and all of that too. So
Yep.
there's lots of moving pieces, and then there's the audio too. Like how do you actually mix 10 people together at the same time?
Yeah, because the biggest was 10, right?
Yeah, I think so. It was.
So yeah, what was Ren? Do you remember what the group was with everybody?
So
all the
it
instruments.
kind of went like this, if I'm not mistaken. We had a bass player, lead singer, another singer, bass player, piano,
synth.
synth.
Oh, we also had a piano. We had a piano and a synth.
I said it so weird. Synth, piano, violin. I think that was
Drum
it.
kit.
Drum
Saxophone?
kit was
it
me.
saxophone there or no?
No. That was
Okay.
Brave.
And then I was drum kit. So singer.
Well, you had the male lead singer. You.
Oh yeah, so Michael played guitar and sang. So
Yeah.
So that's technically 2 things. Another lead singer,
I was just the female lead singer.
female lead singer. Then we had another lead singer. Then we had like I said, synth. And then we had
We had piano.
piano, violin, and drumming.
We made that
And-
sound like 20. It was a real
And
though.
Ethan also played bass.
Oh, and bass.
And for example, the audio was another component too, because everything was mic'd. Every single piece of the drum kit was mic'd.
His entire drum kit was mine.
And we had to buy a drum soundboard,
Yeah.
like a wall. So
Oh, the drum wall. We actually had to put a drum wall because we
That
couldn't hear
helped,
anything.
Yeah. And then I guess maybe this is another topic for down the road too, but like experience not just in building or planning events, but then also like the whole sound system there was completely new too. So it's like I wouldn't mind breaking that open at some time as a
Yeah, we could do that.
section
We
topic.
could totally do that. But I know the in-ears were super helpful too.
yeah, we were doing a XLR setup.
We had in-ears.
Yeah, in ears.
But when it comes to planning these events, we're running out of time. But basically, like this is just the iceberg of especially the music side. I
Yeah,
think
and
at
that's
some
just the
point,
music side.
that's just music. I think it's like maybe next time we come back, sit down and really like give an example of how we would plan for this, because like we have to understand that there's different types of praise and worship and sessions. What you're going to do for a morning wake up session is not what you're going to do in Eucharistic adoration, is not what you're going to do in Mass.
Or even just like if you're doing a 2-song, if you do it after a talk, it's like, what are you trying to accomplish? Do you want it to be more actually a prayer, or do you want it to be just, oh, it's just a Christian song being played? You know, there's subtle differences there too.
Because we're not talking about playing songs. We're not talking about performing songs.
We're praying them. Because as music ministers in these events, we are literally we are the instruments of prayer. We're the instruments of the Holy Spirit moving in the room.
Yeah.
And so many people
I think I've
forget
said
that.
this before. Like, I don't know why music connects so much with people. But on the other hand, like, when I think of good events, the music is a huge part of that usually.
I will say
events
that was
I've
brave
attended
too
to
for me.
personally. So it's like, yeah.
A lot of people miss that. Like, we're currently working on a youth convention, the youth rally that's happening, and music is a big discussion of it. And there are generations of people that don't understand that the youth like really need to connect to music. And it's not just a youth thing, like you said, it's people. People connect to music. And it's our job as music ministers to understand the different needs of each type of music session.
Yeah.
Which, yeah. But I mean, I will say, like, one of the last points I want to bring up is that it required a lot of practice and it required a lot of time and effort.
But then again,
Is worth it.
that too, but also it's Holy Spirit. Like,
I know.
we just work good together.
Well, there's a preparation.
Yeah,
I think
there's all of that.
Yeah, you need to be prepared. You can't just go in and be like, you know what?
I kind of do that though.
Okay, you're a drummer. It's different.
I don't know how to explain
You just
it.
show. This was the practice I had with Ryan. Did you ever tell you this one? Ryan came and we set up the drum kit on the gym floor. And I put the speaker of the music behind him that we were doing. The songs. Just the song. Not us recorded.
I remember this. This
Not
is
us.
fun.
We made a Spotify playlist of all the songs we're doing. Ryan came for like an hour and a half on some random day. And I just played the songs. And he was like.
It was like a Tuesday.
And I was like, what the heck?
That's crazy skill, I think, because like to be able to capture the feeling of music in a percussive way. Like, you could read probably percussion sheet music,
I actually hate doing
But-
that. It actually aggravates the heck out
but
of me.
like that would be so hard. Like, to be able to just listen to it and deliver that is really incredible, I
Well,
think.
personal opinion on the whole reading music thing, like Nicole's saying with chords, reading drum music is actually like most ridiculously hard thing to do because it involves having to think about your left hand and your right hand, and then your foot, and then your other foot, and you got to incorporate that in the way that the person intends you to use your hands.
Yeah, if you want to start playing for musicals on Broadway, yeah, that's a
Makes
skill
sense.
you need.
Makes sense.
But that's not what we're doing here.
No.
They want you to be able to say you're supposed to go left, right, left, left, right.
Listen, watching you do that, Ryan, I just was like, I had my binder full of music, and I would give him notes of like, this is what we talked about. We want a little quiet. I know the recording. He's like, all right, it's in my head. I'm like,
Yeah, that's incredible.
And then I remember Adam came by and he's just like, do, 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 do.
and then we got to the actual event, and he's like, I got it, guys. And he just like, you'd give him one note, and you're like, I got it.
And then there's a performance aspect of it. Like, you have to remember how it's going to start, because in the percussion, you're the one kind of like leading
Driving
the
us.
charge. Like,
That's what
you
I say,
just got to
drumming-
go. Like, you don't have a chance to like
Well,
listen to your phone and hear
Yeah,
it.
especially when we were doing the upbeat like morning sessions, because those songs were really a lot. They were a lot for us to kind of keep
The
going.
King and Country song. Oh my gosh.
But if like you had to keep our beat going.
yeah, I
Like
had
you
to,
had to keep it going. Oh, that's oh, your fingers, they're doing better.
Yeah, I'm actually doing it. Your love is
and I had to really
beauty
See-
and diamonds.
Bursting inside us.
see. I can just feel the feel of that already.
Cannot contain.
Something like that.
So like that.
Yeah.
And it just-
Actually, funny story, and then we'll move on to the next thing with that song.
yeah,
Talking about how much preparation it took. I remember it was Saturday morning, and we got there at like 6:37.
Oh, we got
Remember
there.
how early we got there?
I got up at 5.
And that song was my song that I had to sing by myself. And there's a note that I had to hit. God in the, like up there.
I can recall.
And I was like, God
yeah.
in and we all just stopped because my voice just did not, like, it didn't happen.
It did not sound like Radiant Diamonds?
No, it did not sound like Radiant Diamonds. And we died because the voice crack was real. Throat coat, it's where it's at. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's move on. That's good.
It's really fun. We will definitely come back to this. Catholic question.
Comment? Questions are
Question.
needed.
We all have to think of a question to ask each other.
Do I get to choose the same one I thought of before?
You can
Sure.
do it. Yeah.
You have to ask one of us it.
Just one?
Yes.
Okay. It's easier to do both.
No, pick one.
Are you grilling us
rock,
both?
paper, scissors. I don't
No,
know.
pick one.
Yeah.
We have 5 minutes. Pick one.
That's what happens when you choose.
I gotta forget who's on left and who's on right. Wait, who's on first base?
First base?
It's
What's on second?
Yeah, that's a whole bit.
I don't know. Just pick a person.
That's exactly what the bit's about.
I literally
remember
don't know
that?
what you're talking about.
man,
Abbott
that's
and
awesome.
Costello?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. That
Oh my gosh, pick your
you're
person.
just like the bit.
Okay, Brian, here's my question.
Yes.
What is your favorite comedic element from Abbott and Costello?
My favorite comedic moment in
Is that
Abbott and Costello.
Catholic?
No.
It doesn't matter. This is really funny.
Oh, it's supposed to be Catholic.
It's supposed to be Catholic.
Okay, I'll go Catholic. Okay, Nicole.
What?
So I'm going to ask you. You get this question. So what do you think of Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day being on the same day? February 14th.
I'm cool with it because as a single person, it's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean,
It might as well be sad.
it might as well be sad. It's fine. It's fine. Might as well be sad. It's cool. Listen. For the past few years, I've always said that on Valentine's Day, because I really hate how secularized.
Secularized.
Man, I can't.
Valentine's Day has become.
Yes.
I usually say that I spend the day with Jesus anyways because he's the best boyfriend I've ever had. So I go out to mass on that day anyways.
Nobody
so
can
I
really
don't
truly
mind
beat that.
being in sorrow. It's cool.
Cool. All right.
Not to be dark, but sometimes being single is really obnoxious.
It can be if you look at it that way. Anyway,
Do you have a question or you want me
I
to go?
don't really know yet.
Ryan,
Yes.
if you can name your child any name from the Bible, what would it be?
Moses?
That's sick. So now you have to ask Michael a question because he went last.
Oh, boy. I'm actually
boy.
scared of this.
No. I can't think of one.
I
at
mean,
the
he's
moment.
smart.
Yes.
He's smart. He's going to come up with
I'm
something
gonna come up with
wild.
something. Yeah. Do you have a favorite mass that you've gone to?
A favorite mass?
Like, what did you like? What prayer? What was so intense or prayerful about it?
Ooh. Can I go with the first one that comes to mind?
Sure.
It's funny because it's not contemporary praise and worship at all. There are elements of it that kind of were foreign and a little bit weird to me. But it was awesome at the same time. This was a pontifical high mass.
Okay.
This was done at St. Peter's Church
Okay.
in downtown Steubenville. And I was
Awesome.
part of the choir.
Okay.
And
I don't know what that is.
the foreign element to me was when it was celebrated by the Cardinal Burke.
Okay.
So that's cool.
Well,
But
cardinals
then
are just bishops, right?
they're technically princes of the church, and they have their own. They are bishops, yes, but then they also have a church like in the Roman, like the vicinity of Rome too,
Oh, that's cool.
which they're technically pastor
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
of.
go
They
ahead.
can become popes.
Okay.
They're eligible, and they vote for it during the conclaves. But so it's not just like a Latin mass. This was like the Latin mass of Latin masses in a sense because the cardinal even like vested like in front of everyone in the middle of the church. It was very different. Like I wish I understood the meaning of everything, but like there's so many altar servers and there was such a way to do everything. And like the cardinal had this one like vestment that was like 30 feet long and just kind of in back of him. It was kind of like this
did the
train.
Like a
altar-
train?
Yeah.
Did an altar server hold it
It was
up?
very interesting. I wish I actually understood it.
Did an altar server like hold it?
I think it was like hell or something like that.
During consecration?
No, it was like during the vesting.
So this was
process in
like,
the
I
very
think
beginning.
he's saying this was like a vestment he probably walked down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he took it off probably during.
Yeah, but then even the celebration of the liturgy itself was like more, like everything. There was more to it. Going to what I liked about it was as a choir we sang the Rachmaninoff setting, and it's one of the mass. So the mass parts, it was so powerful. Oh,
I believe it.
First of all, Rachmaninoff, that's awesome. And like his music is so powerful and dynamic. Like he had these huge hands that could span 14 notes on the piano.
That's intense.
So like almost, well, maybe, yeah, like 14 white notes. So it's almost 2 octaves.
Holy moly.
And so that's why he has these big, powerful chords. But like he wrote amazing choir music too. And just to be a part of that and like the swells in there, like the dynamics. So going from quiet to loud and like I'm not going to do
Yeah.
it. As a choir in harmony.
For
that
a
was
mass.
Cool. This
Yeah.
is super cool. Like if you're going to experience like what a traditional Latin mass is supposed to be and the awesomeness of it, that was it. And to be in the choir was really cool.
Solid.
You know, that's so cool.
I love that question.
You know what?
I'm humble. I thought my
Solid
question.
Catholic questions. On that note, what are some ideas for the future, guys? I know you were talking about, I'm going to give one of my ideas. So, talking about structure and things looking different, guys, this is exciting. So, for next month, potentially, live streaming worship.
Oh, is that next month
That's
already?
next month. So, a big piece of what we were kind of not known for, I don't care if we're known, but how the Lord has moved in us is whenever we do live praise and worship, you know, we definitely let the Holy Spirit move. So an idea that I had / we've talked about is that we want to do a live stream praise and worship session where we're going to pull in songs that we did this time today.
Yep.
But we also will pull in some classics that we've done from the past and just invite you guys to join us.
It might be longer form music, right?
Yeah, it's not going to just be like 3 songs. It will probably be 30 minutes, maybe.
It could be it's going to be like a,
So it'll actually be like, we're going to have to do a little bit of prep for this too.
yeah, the
Michael
idea is
and I
that,
will practice, and then we'll be ready to go.
as I
So,
said, I will just join.
Ryan, you're an epic drummer. You just show up and let the Spirit move in your bones.
Hashtag Steubenville.
Let's go.
Anyways, I'm over that.
He's not over that. So that's my idea, and I'm really excited for that.
That's super cool.
Thanks.
Yeah.
How about you, Mikey Mike?
One of the things I'm looking forward to is being able to use my piano for this at some point.
Oh, yes.
So as soon as schedules clear up a little bit, like let's just say graduation and studies and retreats and all of that. So maybe
Don't
May
look at me.
is
Well,
just
that's really
to
only you.
doing
Sorry.
every other time besides these live streams, to do like a more specific one song cover of some sort of a Christian song of some sort. And just record tracks individually, really have a special focus and attentiveness to quality because I love that. But yeah, no, it's kind of fun. Like we've done an album before, but like to actually bring our praise and worship up to top notch would be super cool.
Yeah.
Is it done?
My phone's full. You guys can keep going.
Ooh, okay.
Okay. No.
Ryan, what's your idea?
I don't know. My idea is that we just wanted to, like Michael's saying, quality. We just want to be able to do more, if that makes any sense. I don't. Guys,
You got this.
we got this. We have a little bit of a hiccup. No worries.
You're good. You have ideas for things.
Well, I'm saying with regards to what's
No, it's
going
okay. Keep-
around us. Yeah, whatever. The idea is that we want to be able to do quality. We want to be able to do quality, as I've been saying. But what we're thinking is, like, when we talk about big scale events, as we were saying in our podcast, when we say big scale events, we want to potentially be a UTM platform. Like, we could make that a thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, the idea is that we want to potentially be able to bring people in
Yeah, that's a great idea.
and, like, have, like, live streams or even in person and be able to become a platform. People, like, talk about us, but we
Yeah.
just don't know how to bring it to them.
It's a great idea.
I have more ideas, but I mean we can save them
We
too.
should save them because
'cause we
my
wanna-
camera has died. So
We hope to be able to.
You're
you
in
know.
there now.
I am?
Yeah.
Can you see me?
I was able to get both of us.
Hey.
It's not
So,
great,
yeah.
but it works.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for
Was that
joining us.
everything? Come on.
That's it. And
What?
we did it in an hour.
What's one last thing we
Okay.
may want to just throw out for the team, as a team?
We have to pray.
All right.
Cool.
Always a
Hail,
circle.
Holy Queen.
Hey, Holy Queen.
In the Father and the Son
Son,
and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Hail, Holy Queen, Mother of mercy,
our
our life, our sweetness, and our hope. To thee do we cry, poor banished children of Eve. To thee do we send up our sighs, mourning and weeping in this valley of tears. Turn then, most gracious Advocate, thine eyes of mercy towards us, and after this our exile, show unto us the blessed fruit of thy womb, Jesus. O blessed, O clement, O
Sweet Virgin Mary, pray for us, O Holy Mother of God,
That we
that we may be made worthy of the promises of Christ.
Amen.
Amen.
Father,
Father,
Son,
Son,
Holy
Holy
Spirit.
Spirit.
Amen. Okay, bye.
Bye, guys.
We almost prayed that as fast as Irish Catholics.
Okay, bye.
Bye.